Yo, yo. What's up, guys? Hope everyone can hear me, see me, etc. We'll get going here. Quick audio, video check. What is going on here? I don't know what that is. All right. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Nicholas, Pangus, Brother, Richard, Dan, Reverend, Semaphore. What's up, Julio? Change the settings to 1080p. I think that's on your end, bro. I'm pretty sure that's on your end. I don't know how. Tell me how and I'll do it. Did I enter my gold short? Not yet. I can talk about that a little later, but I'm not sure the dollar is quite done dropping. So remember, to enter the gold short, I want to see what price action does here. Right? So I want to see bullishness here before I hop in. I'll cover that in a bit, but this is the Ethereum stream. So we'll get going on on this right away here. So I will quickly kind of cover my thoughts just kind of from last video to this video. We're going to be focusing on Ethereum today, guys. Ethereum, the ETH and Chill stream. So if you have questions about other charts, anything like that, obviously I can cover that in another video. I know in the last video I did about an hour. Video, so I'm gonna keep this one to about 30 minutes. Focus on Ethereum. What I'm gonna do is tomorrow I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck you guys want stream. So tomorrow I'll cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, altcoins, whatever you guys want to see. I'm just gonna kind of have it be an open session. So you guys can just hop in, ask me what you want to see. But this one is going to be focused on Ethereum. So with that being said, let's kind of just hop into it. And I'll look for questions kind of as we go. Obviously, quick disclaimer. Thanks to PrimeXBT for making this happen. Please, show them some love. Sign up with the link in the description. Follow them on Twitter. Use my code. Get a 50% deposit bonus. Right. So if you deposit 1 Bitcoin, you get 0.5. And obviously, nothing that this metal bird discusses in today's stream constitutes financial advice. Do your own research. That sort of thing. Let's talk about Ethereum. So where were we last week, right? So the last stream that I did was on the 27th. We were trading right around here. And I'd drawn out this level as saying this is a potential area that ETH can go to. So if you've been following these streams for a while, we got short up here and we closed some down here. Basically what I saw is when we reclaimed this breaker, I closed off some of my short. So I caught myself a nice little move here. From here to here, a nice 10% plus move. But then I saw, we might have some strength here, so I want to get out. And then on the last week's stream, right, we were trading in here. And I said I would not be surprised if ETH moves up a little further and comes and tags this order block here. So we drew this level out on the September 27th stream. And I said this would be a short op, right? So if you pull your fib from here to here, right in at the 79% retracement is that order block there, and we came just shy. I mean, if you include the wick, it hit, but we came just shy within a couple cents. The high here is 371.20. This is 371.62 at the open here. So I said I wouldn't be surprised if we come tag here, and this could be a short opportunity with your stop either here or here. So that would have played out, and then obviously the targets I had mentioned on the downside, right, would be going down into that kind of these lows here, and obviously ideally 290. But what's happened since then? Normally not a ton happens. It's only been a week. Crypto's been very flat. But we do have some kind of, market-wide news that's obviously happening that could potentially, change, what could be happening on crypto. And specifically what I'm talking about, obviously, is the president of the United States has COVID. So, think what you want about Donald Trump, think what you want about COVID. That doesn't really matter. To me, this is just a potential kind of fundamental, catalyst potentially for the markets as a whole. And if you've been following my streams at all for the last 2 months, I talk about the correlation between, equities and crypto, and how essentially, BTC is just a risk asset now, following equities very closely with higher beta. So more volatile, obviously where BTC goes, ETH goes. So basically there could be speculation to be made on where the market will go if the president survives, right? So, that's a difficult question to answer for sure. To me, I would lean towards up. I think if the president is going to be okay, and if he is going to kind of be fine and bounce back out of COVID as if nothing happened, and is back on the campaign trail, is good for the next debate in 10 days, I think that's bullish for the market. And I think that would be, meaning BTC and Ethereum would go with it. So, I don't think that it is a coincidence that, 10-15 minutes before the market opened today, they released a video of the president talking about how good he felt, right? And be like, oh, I'm doing great, blah, blah, blah. That's not a coincidence, right? So to me, I think if he's okay, I do think that's bullish for the market as a whole. So, potentially could mean we see some kind of upward price action coming in on ES. We can already see that happening today. We gapped open, right? So we gapped open from the close last week, and we're already pushing up here. And this price action looks very similar to what we're seeing on ETH right now anyways. So overall, I'm potentially leaning towards, kind of a move up here on Ethereum. I'm kind of switching my bias, thinking that the dollar might drop a little bit lower. The dollar just hasn't shown me the strength yet, right? So really all I'm focused on here is this. God damn it, motherfucker. Pardon my French. Right, I want to see bullishness here. I want this to reclaim. I talked about us being able to fall further, right? We could fall into this level, but that would be bullish for Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And so, Bitcoin, it closed the week okay. It's been relatively flat, but something that I am paying attention to, right, is we did get a weekly close above this level, right? Not this, right? So this has been a key SR level, right? Top, finally broke this level, right? Broke below. Now we're potentially reclaiming it. So, I see no reason to be overly bearish if we're maintaining high time frame closes above this kind of 10.5 level, right? So if we're maintaining high time frame closes above 10.5, there's an order block right below it, right? Key order blocks happen where? Near key SR levels. So if you're looking at it like this, argument to be made that you could remain bullish above here, at least towards a test of 10.6, which we talked about, right? Could come up to here, right, and then reject. But assuming we stay above this level, I think we could potentially see a green week, coupled with the fact that the president, is sending out positive news. I don't really know what's going to happen with him. I do think if he dies, that would be bearish and the markets would crash. But I think, pending good news, I think it wouldn't be a terrible idea from a fundamental perspective to kind of have a bullish outlook this week. So what that means for us on Ethereum, right, is, let's look for a potential long, right? So if we're looking at the H12 here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these lovely levels I have just so we can kind of get a fresh look. Because what happens sometimes is when you're staring at the same chart for too long with the same levels, you can kind of lose perspective of what's going on because you just have these levels kind of memorized right in front of you. Sometimes it's good to just hit the old trash can button and say, okay, where are we? So if you're looking here at the daily, I don't think overall this looks amazing, right? I mean, from a high time frame, absolutely, this is going to go higher. But from an immediate term time frame, what are we doing here? But even as high as the daily, right, what I see here is potential for bullishness. So if I'm looking at the daily chart fresh, no other lines on it, these are the two levels that jump out to me immediately. Okay? And if we can get above this level here, I think that's quite bullish to go take out these highs and potentially move higher. If we fall below this level here, I think that's bearish, and we will eventually go towards that 290 level, which comes from over here. Okay. So looking at the daily, these are kind of my levels of interest, and I guess I could give you a daily upside level as well. It'd be probably there, right? Because if we get above these highs, right, we're going to fill in this candle at least up until here. Going to fill this in area, absolutely. So tight range still, but this to me gives us pretty clear bias, right? Lose this level, trade it down into here. Gain this level, I would say trade it up to here at the very minimum, but maybe even higher up into there. But that's kind of what I'm watching on Ethereum right now. So for my shorts that I took up here, if we regain this level on like an H4 close, I'm going to cut the trade. And just take the profit that I had, close some down here, right? So from here down to here, God, what the fuck is that? From about here down to here, still 6%, right? So it's not the end of the world. If we break below here, H4 close or higher, right? So H4 close below here, I'm going to look to potentially compound shorts, but then definitely hold on to the shorts that I'm in down into this level. So if we dial it in a little more, right, H12, well, what am I seeing here, right? To me, that this is a H12 breaker right here. Okay, so this is like an H12 kind of breaker candle. You could argue that this is an H12 bullish order block, whatever you want to call it. We're potentially forming support here. We've got a low, a high, a higher low. Now, can this make a higher high, right? And then start to change the market structure. It hasn't changed yet. Market structure is not flip bullish until we clear these highs. So zooming in on the H12 where we're at now, what I'm looking at here is this level here, right, as support. Bullish 12-hour order block, right? We came into it. We're finding support. There's that key level. That's why this is a good order block. Order blocks form near key levels. Okay. First trouble area is right here, right? So you have a little bearish order block here that sent us down here. So this is going to be key. If we can regain this level, right, this order block here, and it overlaps right with this level, we're going to go higher, right? The key for market structure is here, which also happens to be this bearish order block. But what I like for the bulls here is this. Move down, right? Test 1, higher low, test 2, reject again, right? Sent us lower, never took out this low. So if we can regain here, I don't think a third test here holds. And I talked about this in the last video because this is where our short was. Our short was here. And I talked about in the last video where if we regain this area, I expect higher prices. And I also talked about how I don't expect this gray to hold a third test, right? So very simply, for the bull argument is right here, okay? Bullish order block here. Here's your higher low. Here's your high that matters from a market structure perspective. Test of the bullish order block is holding. If we can break through this block, break through this, I'd consider this the FTA, the first trouble area, and this key SR, they're basically the same level here. They're within a couple bucks, right? If we can get above here, okay, I think we go up to here, and I do think this will reject, but I think wherever this rejects is a buy for higher. I don't think that we come up here, test again, and then dump. I don't think we make like a triple top here. I think wherever this rejects to, this would be a long. Okay, so if you're not long on Ethereum from here, okay, where do you want to long it? So this is your high time frame market structure, right? Have not made a higher high yet. But your low time frame market structure, kind of your wave within a wave, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is here. Low, high, higher, low, right? So if we make a higher high here, then I'm buying this dip. Okay? So even though this hasn't made a higher high yet, this little mini trend within the bigger trend has made a higher high, and I want to be getting long around here. Okay? Because if you zoom in, right, market structure is going to shift on the low time frame first. So if I'm looking at the weekly, right, we've got nothing here we can use. If I'm looking at the H12, really you kind of got this, right? But if I zoom into the H4, okay, what do we have here? We have a low, right? A high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. We take out all these higher lows, right? But we place a higher low relative to this one, right? So that mini trend I'm talking about, right? This is your H4 trend here. So the H4 trend, I'm going to delete all the levels for a sec. The H4 trend is this right now, right? Higher low, we're here. If we can break this, that's bullish market structure on the H4. What happens before we get bullish market structure on the H12? We're going to get bullish market structure on the H4, right? So that's why this market structure break, I want to get in on the higher low that this forms, okay? Expecting then the H12 market structure break to happen and us to move higher, right? Into that level right up there. Does that make sense what I'm talking about? Kind of the low time frame folding into the high time frame and what I expect for bullishness here? It's on your channel settings. Okay, I will try and do that before my next stream. Yeah, if Angelo said it, it must be true. Does what I explained there about the market structure shifting on the lower time frame first? Because that's a very important concept, right? So if you are expecting bullishness on the H12, right? If you're expecting this high to get taken out on the H12, what do you want to see here? Right? I want to see low time frame higher lows and higher highs. Because the low time frame bullishness is going to lead to then high time frame bullishness. Not always, right? If the preceding trend is down, right? But it will always shift on the lower time frame first. So if my H12 market structure is this, and I'm expecting this high to go, on this little H4 wave, I want to see this high go first, right? Because that's your H12 market, H4 market structure. Excuse me, that was so rude. Okay, cool. Perfect. So that's the bullish argument, okay? And that's exactly how I plan to play it. So very simply, right? If we regain this level on an H4 close, I'm closing my shorts, okay? FTA is here. If we can get above here, take out this high, and look where that, remember that level from at the start of the stream, right? If we can take out this high, which would also mean, you know, coming into this for a second test, wherever that, let's say we go to here, wherever that pullback comes to, I want to long it, right? Trying to get long into here. Or if we come out all the way, right? Let's just say we fucking do something like this. I want to long this, right? Moving up into here. Filling some of that emptiness, okay? Now, on the bear side, right, we can do a bear exact same thing. I'm looking at the exact same levels. This is my key lower level here. So if you look at the daily, right, we're kind of just within a range here. So a break of either side of the range is where we want to get bullish or bearish, right? So bullish above here, bearish below here. So if we lose this 345 level, okay, if we lose this 345 level, I think you could look to short a pullback, right, into 290. Even if you want to wait till we lose this level, right, there's still $30 move between this low and here. That's still a lot of room. So what does that look like on the low time frame? How do we execute on that, right? So if we go down to the H4, similarly, so I'm just gonna delete this for a moment. Okay, you can dial that big order block into here. This is your key. Okay, so if we come up here and we reject from the first trouble area, right? And we break through here. The aggressive short is shorting here. The more conservative short is shorting here. Okay? Lose this level, it's over, in my opinion. If we lose this level, right, it's over and we go much lower. Okay? And you target 290. So I'm still in part of my short from up here. And this would be, if you're not short, this would be your short opportunity, right? Or you could short right here, I guess, right? But to me, there's just no, this isn't a setup yet, right? I would want it to come into this, into here, a little higher to short. You could short it from here. This is technically a bearish breaker. So you could, I guess you could argue that there's a short right here, right? So I mean, most aggressive short is right now, okay? Lose this level, now you're absolutely shorting any sort of pullback here. And then ultimately lose this level, getting short again, compounding, whatever you want to do. But if it's bearish, it's not going to go above here, in my opinion. Right? Shouldn't really get above 360. Absolutely should not get above here. Obviously, this is your kind of supreme invalidation, but I don't think it should get above the FTA. Now, remember, the FTA is an order block. It's not just that one level, right? So if you're bearish right now, to me, no way price gets above here. If price gets above here, you're wrong. Get out. Right? And that's exactly what my invalidation is on my current shorts, right? If we get above here, I'm getting out. So you could argue that you could short it right here, I guess. Not something I'm interested in taking. I would much rather wait for a breakdown, right, of this level here and that 345 level, which is from somewhere else on the chart, gone now, but you know, call it there. Right, so losing of these two levels is where I would look to compound, or if I'm not short yet, get short. If you are already short, or if you're already short from here, this would be kind of the only reasoning I see, right? Last down candle before an up move, it took out this high, made a low, right? You could sell this retrace. I don't see anything wrong with that. Just not, I'm already short, so I'm not taking that. I think the higher confidence short is once we start trading below one of these two levels into 290. Right? Same idea here. So if this is going to be bearish market structure, right? We want a lower high in here. Where's your confirmation? Here. So if we make a lower low here, right? Yeah, you're fucking shorting because you expect this low to get taken out. Right? And then that H12 market structure, right? What's going to happen first? It's going to get bearish on the H4 first. Exact same thing that I just explained on the upside works on the downside as well, right? So pick your poison. Pretty clear, I think, triggers in either direction. I think just focus on these two levels right now. This is kind of where my attention is drawn, right? Just plain and simple is right here and right here. Leaning towards up for now, but obviously let's see, the week just started. Is H4 lowest time frame you go? Can you discuss ETH on a high time frame, please? You discuss on KG channel it outperforming BTC in the bull run. So I mean, Bobby, if you want to see my high time frame thoughts on Ethereum, go watch my first Ethereum and chill stream I think it's from like 4 weeks ago. Go check that out. And what you'll see is I cover F top down, looking at the super high time frame in terms of where I think it can go. But to give you a quick summary, why do I think it will outperform Bitcoin? Well, let's assume Bitcoin is going to 100K in the next bull run, right? Let's assume it's going to 100K. That's a 10x from here, right? So if Bitcoin goes to 100K, how high do you think Ethereum goes? If Ethereum's all-time high was, I don't know, what was it, 1,400? Right? 1,400. If Bitcoin goes to 100K, do we think ETH does more than a 10x from its current price? Does it go past 3,600? That's kind of the way I see it, right? Like if Bitcoin goes to 100K, I would be surprised if ETH is not at least 3 to 5K, right? So that's kind of the logic behind that. I just think the reason I think it will outperform is because I think it's cheaper. I don't necessarily know if it'll outperform percentage basis, but good chance it will. Like Litecoin from the last low to the last all-time high was more than Bitcoin in a percentage basis, right? But there's more risk, right? More percentage upside means there's more potential for downside as well, right? These are just derivatives of Bitcoin. So you got to keep that in mind. But I just think from a percentage basis, right? If you can buy ETH at 290 and Bitcoin's going to 100K, which is only a 10x from current price, I would be very surprised, right? If Ethereum doesn't at least 10x or more. That's just my thoughts. I could absolutely be wrong. I don't know. But that's just kind of what I think, right? If you go from the lows here, right, from $11 to here, right? So December 31st, 2016, what ETH is at $8, and it went to 1,200 or 1,400, whereas in the same kind of span of time, Bitcoin went from 1,000 to 20,000. So that's a 20x, right? This is much more than that. So it obviously, and this is just assuming that things happen similar to how they happened last time. That's not a guarantee, right? So I know ETH did what, 18,000%? What did Bitcoin do? Maybe it's the exact same. Maybe I'm an idiot. Right? So do you want 20x, right, or 180x? I'm not saying that it's going to happen again, right? But the thing is there's the law of diminishing returns, right? If you look at Bitcoin, right, the law of diminishing returns, we gotta look at on a different chart, BTC or BLX, right? If you look at it on the log chart, right, the slope, the curve is getting, right, it's gonna, I'm not saying it's still not gonna go up, right, but the distance from peak to top is going to diminish, right? And also you got to take into account that one Bitcoin is $10,000, right? Where one Ethereum is $350, right? So there's also a barrier to entry now with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is very expensive. So personally, I'm not saying go all in on F, fuck Bitcoin, but that's what altcoins are about, right? Like there's more potential upside, but there's more risk as well. But to me, if you're an uber bull on Bitcoin, you think it's going to 50 to 100K, I think you're silly to not think that, ETH is going to outperform on a percentage basis. That's just my thoughts. Could absolutely be wrong, but I've allocated my portfolio accordingly. Okay, so that's the plan for Ethereum. Hopefully that's super clear for you guys. I shorted 355 Moncaw. Okay, bro. Oh, Monday, maybe? Is that what you're trying to say? Moncaw? I don't know what that means. Okay, well, yeah, you shorted based on kind of that thing that I just talked about here, right? On the lower time frame, we kind of got a little H4 breaker right here. So I don't know where your stop is, but if I was in your trade, I would be getting out if we start trading above there, right? But I mean, there's risk reward here is not awful, right? Let's say you shorted the little there, just to this low. It's a 3-to-1, so it's not an awful trade. You're wrong above here. Simple as that. Okay. Is H4 the lowest time frame you look at when going for any trades? No, I will go lower. I usually won't look lower than the hourly. Hourly is usually the lowest, but for the most part, I'm usually looking at the weekly and the daily, and then I'll execute on either the H4 or the 1 hour. I'm looking to get better at scalping. But it's not something that I do currently. It's not something that I'm very good at. It's something I'm kind of working on at improving. But how I trade for now is kind of, I wouldn't always call it a swing trade, but it's definitely not a day trade, right? So it's usually H1 or H4 for the execution for me. Monkas, I don't know what that means either. So yeah, if we're going green, buddy, yeah, let's start trading above these levels, and I'm with you. I'll turn team bull. You know what I like and what I think is leaning towards potential bullishness, right? Is the dollar's not quite showing me the strength I want it to, right? Like if the dollar loses this low here, it's gonna drop deeper, right? And that's gonna be bullish for Bitcoin, bullish for Ethereum. And I think if you're just looking at, you know, the high time frame here on Bitcoin, right? As long as we're above this level here, no reason to be super bearish, right? And if you're just looking at Bitcoin here, what are we into? This is a breaker right here. Okay, similar to F, we're right into a breaker, but we've, you know, broken above this level here. So I think on Bitcoin, similar, right? Above here, right? I think we're going to 11.6 above this area here. So if we can flip this gray, I think we're going to 11.6, bullish for Ethereum. If we reject here, we start trading below here. I think you short this to, you know, 9,600. But the market structure is almost the exact same. There's your little breaker there, very similar. So yeah, above here, get above here on Bitcoin, super bully, and then I would expect Ethereum to be trading up here. That's almost the exact same, right? There's your breaker. Market structure is very similar. There's that breaker as well, right? So we're just kind of going sideways still. Like as much as I would love for this thing to fucking start trending, right, we're going sideways. But no reason to be super bearish on Bitcoin while it's trading above 10.5. And you know, with that, with the news, depending on, you know, kind of Trump's condition, wouldn't be surprised if we see some upside. All right. Monka is a Twitch emote. Google it. Okay, I'll look into it. Closer to a swing trade than a day trade for sure. I like the style. Yeah, so I mean, when I learned to trade, I had a job, right? So that was a major part of it, is I was at work all day. So I couldn't be looking at the 5-minute chart, right? So when I'm at work all day, well, that's only kind of 2 H4 candles in an 8-hour workday, right? So I could check the chart at morning, I check it at lunchtime, I check it at the end of the day. Only 2 H4 candles have happened. So it allowed me the ability to you know, not be glued to the chart and still do my job. Obviously, I checked it more than just 3 times in a day. I'm not, you know, I'm crazy like all of you, but it, you know, I didn't have to move as fast. So if you're one of those people, if you've got a job, right, and you're trying to figure out how to trade, or if you don't have the ability because you got kids, you got other shit going on where you can't be staring at the 5-minute chart or the, you know, 1-minute chart, you don't have to. You know, start trading on the higher time frames, and you have more time to make decisions. It moves slower, right? Are you still holding Tether? I still have some cash reserves if we go lower to buy. But I have quite a bit of exposure to crypto and quite a bit of exposure to equities. But it's all very long term. You know, I have a little bit more dry powder to load up if necessary. But yeah, I'm pretty heavily invested from much lower than where we are now, so I'm not really too worried. And you know, I can also short, right? If we start getting bearish, I can short to cover, right? So, all right, guys, I've got some sports to watch, so I'm gonna keep this one short. I will be back tomorrow with another stream. So if you have any questions that are not Ethereum related, tomorrow's the day. I'll be doing it around the same time. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, stocks, altcoins, whatever you want to cover tomorrow. I'll do like an hour-long stream. I'll answer all your questions. But gonna keep this one relatively short, and I will chat to you guys tomorrow. Any thoughts on polka? I don't know what that is. The dance, the polka dance, or polka dots? No, I meant like when you look at SR on the chart, how long do you look back in time? Like if you apply strong resistance, was there for a month, or do you update the levels each week? So I mean, it depends on the time frame you're looking at, but I would say recency is important, right? I want to look at recent levels as opposed to super old levels. And what you'll find is generally where new SR forms, right? So you could argue that 10.5 is a key level, right? Based on this H4 chart, I could be like, okay, look, we've got resistance, resistance, support, right? Support, support, support. This is a key level. So I could draw 10.5 right here and be like, it's key level. But you could also, and look, support here, but you can also realize that that level came from the weekly. So those levels are going to line up naturally, but I would say recency is important, right? High time frame to low time frame. But yeah, focus on recency. All right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and happy Monday to the European homies.